Welcome to the Unwritten Podcast with your host, Thomas Malpass, where we are on a mission to help the world find more purpose, passion, and peace in their everyday lives. Through deep conversations and connection, tune in because we are all on this journey of life together. Welcome back to another episode of Unwritten Thomas Malpass. Thank you so much for everybody who tunes in every week to these solo episodes and to my guest episodes. My goal is to reach the charts of podcasting and to eventually get so many great guests in the support of my purpose and mission with this podcast. So today we're going to talk about what the hell is obsession, and is being obsessed with something healthy, or does it cross the line between being a psychopath and pathological about something like American Psycho or something? So before we get into this episode, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my sponsors. So let's start with what is obsession. The definition of obsession, according to a Harvard Science Review and the Diagnostic of Statistic Manuals of Mental Disorders, says obsession is recurrent and persistent thoughts, urges, and images that are experienced at some time during a disturbance of intrusive and inappropriate thoughts that cause a marked anxiety and distress. Moreover, this person attempts to suppress and ignore such thoughts, impulses, and images, and in order to neutralize them with some sort of thought or another action. So what's the difference between being obsessed and having passion about something that you're maybe obsessed about? The difference is that passion is an intense desire or enthusiasm to do something, and this may be due to a zealous pursuit of an aim, goal, whatever it may be. So the key difference here is about your control in what you're doing. That's what obsession is. And a healthily obsessed person is doing something that supports their purpose. So in this podcast, I'm going to explain 3 different ways that we can identify obsessions and when it crosses the line. The first way, ask yourself, is this an obsession that supports my mission and my purpose? For example, do you want to get fit so that you can live healthier and live a longer life in support of whatever you want to do and accomplish? Do you want to make more money in pursuit of your purpose to provide more stability or travel more? Or do you want to support charities with that money? These are obsessions that could support a purpose. The opposite of that, when it crosses the line, is if you're obsessed with something that may be detrimental to your health. For example, let's say you're obsessed with going out and partying. Does that support your purpose? Just ask yourself, whatever you're doing, it crosses the line when it starts to be a detriment to your health. So you could be obsessed with something, and it could be even support of your purpose, like getting fit. But then, let's say you're working out all day, every day, and you're not getting enough sleep. That's when it can cross the line. Even though getting fit is support of your purpose, it crosses the line when you're not getting, it crosses the line when you're not getting enough sleep. Here are 5 questions to ask yourself. Is my obsession supporting my purpose? The first question: if you were only known for one thing, what would you want to be known for? Number 2, what feels good to you when you're working on it? Number 3, what skills could I learn and should I learn in support of this? Number 4, am I willing to do this for free? And number 5, if money and security was taken care of, what would I be doing every day with my time? When you ask yourselves these questions, it can help you clarify, is your obsession in support of your purpose? Number 2, when do you really know when to draw the line? Well, like we were saying, the definition of obsession is having consistent, recurrent, persistent thoughts and urges to do something. So when you're not doing it and you feel guilt and shame when you're not doing it, this is a line. You need to be healthy about it. Like, you need to be okay to take breaks. That's where this is going at. The next line. When you are radically restricted. Yeah, the biggest example I could think of here is a guy named Brian Johnson, I believe. He's kind of viral online for becoming obsessed with optimizing his health and living at the biological age of 18, but he's like 50, and he doesn't do anything besides that. Like, he doesn't, if anything doesn't fit into his schedule with that, he's not going to do it. And this is a radical restriction. He's so obsessed to the point that this is a controversial topic. Like, some may say that's okay. Like, I mean, if he wants to do that, let him do that. But if he does, and if he's happy and it's supporting his purpose and mission, so be it. But that is another line that could be crossed when you're so radically restricted. You're like, you can't do anything besides the thing. And I think that can cross the line. Another line to be crossed is if you feel paranoid. If you feel paranoid if you're not doing the thing, or if you feel paranoid and you can't not get it off your mind. That's literally all you could think of all the time, nothing else. This is a line that could be crossed. Like guilt and shame, you have to find a balance to take a break. And it's okay to take a break. The next line. You're still working and doing the thing, even if it's in support of your purpose, surpassing burnout. You feel exhausted, you feel tired, you really do want to take a break, but you keep doing it anyways. You keep being sleep deprived, you keep being radically restricted, you keep feeling guilt and shame about not doing it. All of these accumulate and you're feeling burnt out and you're still doing it. All these lines that are crossed go back to taking a break, man or girl. Even if it's a healthy obsession, you need to learn when to take a break. And it's okay to work so much on the thing. We wouldn't have people like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk if they weren't healthily obsessed with something, or maybe even not healthily obsessed with something. But that's another thing. They take a break sometimes. Elon Musk recently said on a podcast that when he has time to take a break, he will binge a video game that he's been wanting to play. I think he said it in Lex Friedman's podcast. Yeah, he would spend like a whole weekend when he doesn't have anything going on. He's not working. He's not obsessed with building billion-dollar companies, that he will spend the weekend trying to beat a hard game like Diablo or Elden Ring. The next line that needs to be crossed, or the next line that needs to be drawn, is when your obsessions are becoming emotional triggers. Somebody tells you, man, when are you gonna take a break? When are you gonna, that's all you think of, and you get angry or you get heated. Well, I have to do this, I have to do that. Why? What do you know? You don't do it. Like, when you get heated and emotionally triggered by your obsession, that's an indicator. And all these lines are just indicators that sometimes you need balance in life. Sometimes you need to take a break from your obsessions, even if it's just for a day, even if it's for a weekend or whatever, an hour. Time that allows your brain to be alleviated from this focus. Which leads me into number 3. When do you cross the line between being passionate about something and being completely obsessed with something? Like I said earlier, passion is having intense desire and enthusiasm to do a thing, action, in pursuit of a goal, an aim, whatever. And being obsessed is having those thoughts that you can't control that just keep coming up. What is the main component here? Control. And in this control involves intensity. So let's say you're working on something you're passionate about, right? Like, I'm doing this podcast every week. I do 2 podcasts a week because I'm passionate about it, because I want to reach the charts of podcasting and eventually build out studios and have an awesome production team. And I work on it pretty much 6 days a week. But the point I'm trying to make here is, yes, I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's something I always think about. I think about how to be better. I think about how I can edit. But I know when to take a break. And a great example, an indicator from when you know you're crossing the line between being passionate about it and healthily obsessed about it, and being passionate about it and unhealthily obsessed about it, is the level of intensity. And a great example I have is also from the Harvard Review study. Intensity is not only excessive, but can be harmful as well. The most common anxiety disorder can be categorized in a cluster of characterized symptoms such as double checking, contaminating, and constant intrusive thoughts. This is explaining OCD. There's a big difference between checking the stove there's a big difference between checking if the stove is on before you leave for work in fear of the house burning down, versus checking the stove every 30 minutes because the house is going to burn down. In relation to your passion, if you work on something 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, there's a difference between working on something 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And one could argue, but you're working so, like, that's your competitive advantage. And I would argue my competitive advantage to keep my sanity and to practice self-compassion, self-love, and balance is working 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. It's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of perspective. So I just want to end by saying, being obsessed with your goals and ambitions is good. It's a good thing to be obsessed. I'm just saying there's a line that you need to cross when it becomes unhealthy and it starts to affect your life and people around you, and how you can live a more healthily obsessed and balanced life. Let me know what you think. And as always, everybody, stay curious, keep going. You got this. Peace.